Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Some people loved it and some people hated it. I found myself on the former side of that argument. It was, in my opinion, one of the best things to ever happen to the Call of Duty franchise. Modern Warfare played with the Call of Duty formula in really satisfying ways. The way I saw it, Modern Warfare was a return to form for Call of Duty. Good ways and bad. It also brought us a lot of refreshing features, like mounting, gunsmith, parkour, without advanced movement, and Warzone. I personally love mounting because of how it changes up defense and offense. The game's graphics were amazing too, with attractive landscapes, wonderful lighting, killer nighttime visuals, and animations that are unrivaled even 2 years later. Even Battlefield 2042 tried to rival the animation quality, and just ended up making everything look awkward.
And just like that, it's gone like an angel's kiss.
What I'm trying to say is that Modern Warfare was goob. It was goob. And I know I'm not the first person to say this. I mean, I'm probably the first person to say the goob thing. Well, if you really want to get into it, statistically speaking, I'm probably not the first. But this video won't be covering the glory and faults of the game upon release. No, this video is about what Modern Warfare is today, how the updates have affected it, and more importantly, how it's getting treated right now. Strap in, get comfortable, and stay frosty as I tell you about the wonders and horrors of Modern Warfare in 2021. Modern Warfare released on October 25th, 2019. The base game had quite a bit of content, though was sometimes lacking. For example, it released with 4 Spec Op missions and only 1 classic Spec Op mission. However, more would be added with subsequent updates. Speaking of updates, the first season in Battle Pass was released on December 2019. Modern Warfare was the first Call of Duty to add a Battle Pass system into the game. A possibly controversial opinion, I actually quite liked it. I mean, I don't like that every friend I invite into the game after the season's ended will never be able to get some character skins, blueprints, sound packs, entire characters, watches, etc. But for those of us who were there from the beginning, it was really nice to only pay once for that extra content, and since each season's Battle Pass would pay itself off and then some, I'd get free stuff as long as I played. And trust me, I played. The change to the Battle Pass system brought us a bunch of free content too. Unlike older Call of Duty games, you wouldn't have to buy map packs or whatever. Those things are still full price, by the way. Can't wait to spend $15 on a map pack for a dead game. New seasons came with new operators, maps, weapons, missions, game modes, and other general updates and hotfixes. Up until the very end, the seasons were great. That's not to say they were flawless, but most of their flaws were nitpicks. Nitpicks that I spent a whole third of this video on. Maybe more than that. Overall, Modern Warfare seasons were awesome, and greatly expanded on the already incredible game. Once the last season had ended, that being Season 6, I felt pretty happy with the product that I paid for. Modern Warfare was the first game I'd ever bought microtransactions on, and honestly, yeah, it was worth it. With the way the games industry has been lately, it wasn't a safe bet, but that's why Modern Warfare's post-launch performance is so incredible. Great stuff delivered in a time where quality like that just isn't expected. It just feels great. So, what did each season offer? What does the post-season offer? What does the game look like long after launch? Well, dear viewer, I have a question for you. When will you stop asking questions and just let me tell the goddamn story? God, just shut up, just for a second. Jeez, this guy. Alright, before we go any deeper, you might need a really quick rundown on the lore of Modern Warfare. 2019, after a bunch of geopolitical stuff happens in the Middle East, stuff that I won't dive into during this video because there's quite literally an entire campaign's worth of content there, a terrorist group called Al-Qatala invades Verdansk, a fictional city in the fictional country of Castovia. So I hear you asking, why?
Why? 'Cause fuck 'em, that's why.
Co-op mode takes place after Al-Qatala invades Castovia. Coalition forces, being the United Kingdom, Europe, America, etc., and allegiance forces, Russia, Africa, America... Wait, America again? Oh wait, these guys are just ex-military criminals, or both. Put their differences aside in order to move Al-Qatala from Verdansk. Now it's 2021, operators from both sides are being sent in to clear out the bad guys. Make sense? Goob. Alright, let's go back in time to see how the base game was, you know, before the Battle Pass. October 2019, Modern Warfare was released. Along with all the stuff I just went through, there was a lot of quality of life stuff. For example, Modern Warfare had operators. That's not the quality of life thing I'm talking about, I just thought I'd establish that. The operators are people with names, their own looks, yada yada yada, neat. One thing of note is that the operators have their own biographies. When you right-click an operator in the operator selection menu, you can click to see their bio, which includes their full name, including their rank, their nickname, their faction, their citizenship, first language, and an objective, detailed background. The background comes off like a resume, blankly stating facts instead of mentioning things in first person. For example, Domino's bio mentions that she's a 4th-generation Korean French. She was trained to represent France as an Olympic sprinter until Al-Qatala attacked Paris. So she joined the French army and was eventually chosen for special forces. So now we got our backstory. Nice. Now it adds that she's extremely competitive and maintains few personal relationships. This is cool because now we have an objective insight on what kind of person she is. AQ messed with her way of life and her people, so she joined the military. Another example would be Azur, from the Allegiance side. Full name, first languages, etc., background. Known arms dealer. Deals with Al-Qatala rivals discovered by the Butcher. If you played the campaign, you'd know that the Butcher is a very brutal and evil man. Like, really evil.
How about you, Captain? Are you gonna let them die?
Papa, feet!
Save his life, Sergeant.
Now, sir.
Give us the warp! Mercy is weak.
Yeah. Storehouses were raided, family was killed. Used connections to expand North African network. Partnered with Jackals to destroy AQ and feed ambition. The Jackals are a group dedicated to fighting Al-Qatala and defending Africa. And seeing as Azur operates in Africa, his interests align with theirs. So what have we gotten from this short background? Azur is a weapons dealer who wants revenge on Al-Qatala for messing with his business and killing his family. He's not exactly a good guy, but he's not outright evil either. He's someone you'd be willing to play as because he's human. Some character bios aren't perfect, like Thorn's, known as Union Jack to his peers. It sounds like how a fanfic writer would describe their original character. Wyatt has something similar to this, with his bio stating he's described as fearless by friends and family. This isn't as bad as Thorn though, because I'm racist. Because Wyatt's in-game personality actually reflects this. For example, all operators have a voice line for when they're reloading under pressure. Imagine you're under a hailstorm of bullets, and you realize your gun's out of ammo. How do you react? The average operator actually sounds scared or enraged, with Thorn announcing,
Bollocks! You must be joking! Unacceptable!
Golem, an elite soldier, is terrified too.
Damn it all! No, no! What next?
Oh, but how does good old Wyatt act when he's pushed into a corner like that?
That's a bit shit. Well, that kind of sucks. Nope, not a fan of that.
I don't know about you guys, but that's someone I'd call pretty fearless. Enough to be mentioned in a summary of his character. Sweet, so now we've seen how much effort is put into each base operator's backstory. Their entire bio page is given a lot of details and care. Their characters have characteristics that follow them into the game and aren't just typed lore to be forgotten. When you're given operators like this, how could you not be excited for more to come out with the upcoming seasons? Well, Season 1 comes around, giving us operators Nikto and Mara. Both operators are given their own backstory, with Nikto being described as a former FSB deep cover agent who was captured and tortured at the hands of a Mr. Z. His face was disfigured, hence the mask, and he was diagnosed with acute dissociative disorder. He remains a methodical, calculating soldier. This bio is kind of flawed because, for one, I doubt he would be allowed back on the battlefield after all of that happened. Even if he was, it doesn't make much sense for the writers to give him acute dissociative disorder. The Mayo Clinic describes a dissociative disorder as a mental order that involves experiencing a disconnection and lack of continuity between thoughts, memories, surroundings, actions, and identity. I'm no doctor, but I feel like someone who suffers what was just described would be the last person I'd give a gun to, let alone give Spetsnaz-level tasks to. Another thing of note is that we don't know his full name, since his bio just names him as Nikto. Whatever happened to the full name system? Right next to him is Sergeant 2nd Class Nikodim Rodionovich Igorov, and all he was given was Nikto? Even Kruger, who literally has a crossed out portrait and no fingerprint, has his full name there. And he's not even legally enlisted. His bio mentions that he's a criminal and is most likely serving illegally. So one thing I noticed when I was writing the script was that Bale and Sid, both operators that came out with the game, also have this issue. It's not good, but at least there's the intel documents to fill in the blanks. In the co-op mode, scattered throughout the levels are these little documents that give a lot of lore on characters, locations, and story. All of the base operators have their own files. Bale's file tells us that his real name is Staff Sergeant Dmitry Ivanovich Bale, along with a lot of other neat information. Sid's file doesn't give us any more information aside from confirming her name is Sydney. Her last name is redacted. I would be able to call this a mistake or even laziness, however, at the bottom of the document, it's noted in the current directive section to explore potential to exploit Western sympathies, with the important part being parentage and family history off limits. Somebody wanted Sid's family relationship to remain a secret, be it Sid herself or someone else. Either way, that's actually incredibly interesting and adds a lot of value to her character. Meanwhile, Nikto, well, he's just Nikto. That's all he's given. Fun fact, Rodion, this guy, simps over Bale, because Bale is a super badass. Bale's finishing move literally involves him getting punched. Another fun fact, Minotaur, this guy, is Bale's twin brother. Funner fact, Minotaur thought he got Bale killed in 2009, and had blamed himself for Bale's death, literally getting discharged for psychological trauma. He ended up becoming a criminal in Southeast Asia's underworld, possibly as a coping mechanism. That was until July 2019, where Bale tracked down Minotaur and said, hey, join me in the Spetsnaz again. And Minotaur was like, wait, you've been alive this whole time? And Bale was like, hey, join me in the Spetsnaz again. And Minotaur was like, I've been fighting to cope and you were alive this whole time? And Bale was like, hey, join me in the Spetsnaz again. And Minotaur was like, I have 4 kids now. I operate under the alias of Sergei Kravopuskov. And Bale was like, hey, join me in the Spetsnaz again. And Minotaur was all like, brother, it's gonna be great to fight alongside you again. And Bale was like, hey, The other character to be announced for Season 1 was Mara. Her bio mentions that she was a Venezuelan national turned CIA asset at 15, conducted clandestine ops for the CIA until she was invited to Warcom in 2017. Warcom is one of the factions that comprises the coalition. Despite being such an official operator, we don't have her fingerprint, and we still don't have a full name. And this time, there's no reason for her not to have one. She is literally a CIA operative and official soldier fighting legally Venezuela iPhone 100 million dead. Since she's a DLC character, she doesn't get an intel document. Season 2 brought in operators Ghost, Mace, and Talon. Ghost's bio didn't mention his real name, but there's some sense to it. It's noted that he lives with a redacted past and an undercover present, marked by a concealed appearance to hide his identity and maintain anonymity in the field. A little edgy, but acceptable. I think it's kind of funny too that we actually know Ghost's name. It's literally mentioned in this very same game.
Simon Riley.
There's no picture.
Never.
Around this time, they start taking more liberties with the bios. It's not as bad as it gets in the last 2 seasons, but it's still not as strict. Ghost's bio comes off a little less as a resume and more of a description, particularly in the latter half. Talon's bio is in ship shape, aside from him not having a full name. Mace is in a similar boat as Ghost, except this time we actually know a couple things about him. I find it genuinely confusing that we don't have Ghost's fingerprints and blood type, an operator legally working in Task Force 141, but we do have Mace's fingerprints and blood type, a vicious operator with no portrait. No, yeah, that makes sense. See, Ghost doesn't ever get shot, so we never need to give him any blood. Also, he's selfish and doesn't donate any blood when he's needed to. Mace, on the other hand, will ask and ye shall receive. Season 3. Alex, one of the protagonists from the campaign, becomes available as an operator. Neat. His lack of a full name makes sense considering he's supposed to be a secretive guy. His full name is never mentioned in the game at all. His bio is legit, portrait's good, fingerprint is present, all around acceptable addition. We also get Ronin and Iskra, added to the Coalition and Allegiance respectively. Ronin's bio is acceptable, maybe a little edgy with the whole one-man army thing. But yeah, okay, still no full name to be found. Iskra's bio is on the same level as Ronin, being pretty legit aside from the name issue and having a missing portrait. One cool thing about the operators is that sometimes the backstory of one character is tied to the backstory of another. Case in point, Zane. Zane, or Captain Victor Isaac Mitiko, formerly of the Nigerian army, is one of the playable operators. He's also the guy who formed the Jackals. He formed the Jackals because he knew that his government was embezzling money that was supposed to go to fighting against Al-Qatala, and he wasn't just gonna let Africa fall. If you remember from a couple minutes ago, you'd know that Azur partnered with the Jackals. It's neat lore, right? Well, because they canonically have a relationship, Azur and Zane actually have special voice lines just for when they're interacting with each other in-game. So, say you're playing as Azur during a co-op mission and your friend is playing an operator other than Zane. They'll have generic voice lines for each other.
You're okay. Get up. On your feet. Let's go.
I got you, brother. Don't worry, you'll make it. Remember to duck next time. Get up, you can die later.
That place to lie down. You're not dead. Stand up.
Now, say you're playing as Azur and your friend is playing as Zane. The interaction will be a little bit more interesting.
Come, I do not pay you to die.
Keep your damn money.
Get up, Azur. Back on mission.
I'm fine, thank you. Come, old friend. Time to run.
You come with me. Fight.
There's a bunch of other pairings between operators, such as between Thorn and Charlie, Rodian and Yegor, Wyatt and Otter, and a couple more. All the operators that came out with the game have a special pairing like this. Problem is, the only time they ever exercised something like this with the added operators was with Mara and Iskra. No 2 other characters added post-launch have a relationship like this. That's nearly half the roster. It kinda sucks too because some characters are perfect for her, like Alex and Farah or Price and Gaz. Season 4 gave us Captain Price. His bio is pretty damn good, with the only exception being in his background, where he's mentioned directly in the last sentence. Hey look, he's actually got a full name! Oh thank God! Wait a minute. Where is his rank? Shouldn't it say Captain John Price, assuming he has no middle name, and then a dash followed by Price in quotation marks? Whatever, at this point I'll take what little victories I can get. Gaz is here too, given a perfect background and bio. He's got more of a full name than Price does, even if it's missing his rank and formatted improperly. The last one we get is Rose, on the Allegiance side. Good bio overall, given a first name and last name. Her portrait's missing, but she's literally Shadow Company. It looks like she's meant to be secretive. But then we have her fingerprint and blood type? Season 5. Lurch. Funny enough, this guy's based off a real dude. Tony Sentimental Tony. When season 5 came out, I saw a video this guy did. Honestly, seemed like a pretty cool guy. I really like that beard thing. Looks pretty signature. Retired SWAT guy, USMC veteran, gym owner. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, he's also got an NFT thing going on. Huh. Yep. This is. Oof. Ooh. Anyway, Marcus Ortega is his in-game character's name. His background's a little edgy, mentioning that he's a cold-hearted operator who is a one-man force multiplier. Although, that's not as edgy as received a general discharge under honorable conditions. Barely. Can you imagine putting that on a resume? Alright, in his defense, he's a member of Shadow Company, a PMC group that's known for its moral flexibility. Assuming this is Shadow Company's bio on him, they probably like the edginess. Alright, next we have Velikan. Alright, here's where it really hits the fan. Brace yourself for this one, okay? Have a trash can next to you in case you puke, alright? I got one next to me, it's full, but you know, it's not like I want clean trash. Although that's... And I don't want... I guess I don't want... Do you want dirty trash? Is that a thing? Do people want dirty trash? I guess I prefer if my trash was clean. Alright. Velikan's bio. Name, Redacted. Redacted is a shadow of a shadow. Tales of his exploits are written off as fairy tales at best and gross exaggerations at worst. Those who know him never speak ill of him, whether it's due to fear or respect. No one knows. It hurts. It hurts. Not only is the name thrown to the wayside, the entire background is just a travesty of edginess and cringe. You'd swear you just entered the male version of AO3. Oh, at least we have his portrait and blood type though. Okay, slightly less awful, but still not good. Morte. This guy is literally just a rapper from Italy. I don't know who contacted who, but for some reason this Fabio Ravazzi guy was put into the game. Honestly, that's not the bad part. Sentimental Tony, this guy, was put into the game, and his character is honestly really charismatic and cool. Fabio Ravazzi, however, well, look, it's not that he doesn't look cool or anything, or that his lore isn't neat. By the way, the wiki says he's the way he is because he saw too many spaghetti westerns growing up. It's just that his voice acting is atrocious. You know how the characters deliver a one-liner after executing people?
Lesson over!
It is settled. Just a corpse now. Just a corpse.
Not fair, is it?
You're shit at this war thing, you know that.
Tell my old man who sent you. Now join your ancestors. Sleep tight, asshole.
Those are all badass, right? Well, give a listen to Morte's.
Too slow on the draw.
All of his voice lines are just delivered so poorly you'd swear he was reading directly off of a piece of paper.
Last mag. Low ammo. Whoa, close one.
So you can hear where he's like trying to sound cooler or whatever.
Yeah. 201 gets me every time because I hear a Billy yell it and it kills someone with said thermite before he finishes talking.
Thermite, out!
People have said that it sounds better if you listen to it at 125 or 1.5.
Out! Frag! Out! Molotov! Out! Thermite! Out! EMP drone deployed!
I agree. I
C4,
think it's because he says
cover.
things very slow. And
He's trying to, because he's not, again telling you, he's not fluent in English.
yeah.
I like this one. My man is saying everything syllable by syllable. Low on ammo. Here, listen to it's in the very beginning of the
Last mag. Low ammo.
Oh, I actually still have it sped up. That's the worst part.
Last mag. Low ammo. Low on round. Large caliber.
Wait, oh yeah, his Semtex quote sounds really long here.
Semtex, stay away!
I blame the guy, like whoever was coaching him, like for recording the lines for him.
I agree.
Like unless they kept trying until they gave up, but at that point just replace his voice with somebody else. You know, Mara, she has a different face actress and a different voice actress.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Fucking corpse. I'll bury you. You're going
What
6
was that
minutes to
line?
draw. You're a walking corpse. I'll bury you.
Oh, you're a walking corpse.
Bro, can you imagine being intimidated by that? Listen to his "I'll bury you" delivery.
I'll bury you.
I will get revived by that quote.
You're going 6 feet under.
That pulled the bullets out of my chest.
I'm putting you in a pine box. Go on. Draw. Marked coordinates for airdrop.
Did you hear that? It sounds like this quote is auto-tuned. Listen.
Marked coordinates for airdrop.
Oh my god, it does.
Like, by the time he says target marked and then hit it, because that's the same quote, that's one quote. I feel like by that time I would have marked the target and they already would have fired.
Target marked. Hit it.
Okay, you know when you call him a cruise missile, he pulls out the tablet, he taps it, and then it like goes into the cruise missile view?
Yeah.
I imagine if you did that, like, because that does actually show up rather quickly. Like for real.
Like
before I was
the
exaggerating.
missile's gonna land before he's done with his line.
No, like the actual missile sequence will start before he's done with his line. And because, you know, by that time he's really far away from the camera, you probably just hear like, you know, mark coordinates, hit, and then like, you know, at this point you just hear as the cruise missile goes towards.
Target marked. Hit it.
Listen to that, bro. That's like a solid second, dude.
Need air support. Subito. Get me some air support.
Like, listen to how much faster his Italian quote is.
Subito.
If they, to make it better, number one, I think they should have added a little bit more Italian into it.
I think they should have like allowed him to have an accent, like.
Well, yeah, well that let
If
him
he talks
actually
like
say
this.
some more Italian words and like coach him better, so it doesn't sound because the voice acting is honestly garbage.
He's
Even like
yeah.
even though he can barely speak English, like even just the voice acting itself.
Like
is
even if he was fluent in English, it would still sound bad.
yeah.
The cavalry's here.
Yeah, if somebody told, if the cavalry arrived and I hear it in that like very accent,
I could understand a private sounding like this, but nobody else.
The worst part is they're like, oh, he was part of this apparent like legendary regiment. Just imagine
Yeah,
him being
no.
a marine. So just a marine
Absolutely
sounding
not.
like this, super operator marine, who gets to choose his own uniform.
Oh
It
yes.
takes him 5 minutes to make a call out.
When he says when he says the cavalry line, I just imagine like the cavalry sending in one guy to make sure everyone's still alive, so they choose like the dumbest guy in the regiment just in case like, you know, the enemy's there. So you just hear this. It's like you're like there's like 2 guys in your squad left, and you look behind you and you just see
The cavalry's here.
like he's trying too hard to Americanize his voice, and I think that's the problem.
Honestly, it kind of sounds like they're like forcing him to speak English when he doesn't know it.
So I'm 100% off script right now, but something I think I should mention was that while I was making my script for this, I had just happened to come upon this video that, you know, Fabio Ravazzi, the guy who plays Morte, he made like a vlog type thing talking about the entire experience of getting himself into Modern Warfare. I don't know if I included the voice clip, but earlier I mentioned that I don't know who contacted who. Well, this video literally mentions who contacted who. I gotta be honest, this whole video is actually really, really nice. The video explains how this whole concept came to be, how we got into the game, and, you know, whose idea it was in the first place. It's like a little documentary, again, it's a vlog. And after watching it, honestly, my opinion of this guy has changed a lot. I watched it alone, and in this upcoming segment, I'm watching it with Jacob, or Timeless Dusk. It's a video I highly recommend you watch. It explains a lot of the process of putting someone like him, and most importantly, it actually shows where everything went wrong. You know, the segment that's coming up right now is actually the reason I don't blame Fabio Ravazzi himself, at least not entirely. It was really enlightening, and I really, really, really recommend you watch it. It's honestly really enjoyable, as Jacob states later. Fabio Ravazzi himself is actually a big mood. Like, this guy, the video's funny, it's a good vlog. It's a good vlog, and I don't watch vlogs ever, but I thought it was pretty good. So I'm probably going to leave it in the description, and if I don't, somebody remind me. It's a really, really good video. Also, it's all in Italian, so you should probably watch it with subtitles. But yeah, here's a clip of it. Again, I still recommend you watch it in its entirety. It's really good. Listen to his voice and just imagine how he sounds when he's angry. That would be actually pretty legitimate call-out
questo
voice.
microfono fighissimo e piccolino da mettere sopra le cuffie.
Yeah.
Mi è esplosa la testa.
E un copione con 1800 frasi in americano e 1800 frasi in italiano da doppiare per il mio personaggio morte all'interno del gioco.
Let's go! Throwing tear gas!
Like, coach him! Throwing tear gas! Like, even if it sounds like that, as if it's fast...
That would sound so much better, though.
Yeah. Throwing tear gas! Like, if I tried to put on a heavy Hispanic accent, like, to just really dig into my Spanish and try to, like, formulate an accent, it would still sound... I know kids in Mexico who would sound, you know, who could make it work. He just needed a better coach, I think.
Thermite, out! Lost visual, look out!
Okay, that's also
Let's
on
go.
him. He's literally making
Throwing
tea.
tear gas! Thermite, out! Lost visual, look out! EMP!
That one actually wasn't
La
bad,
granada.
though.
Lost visual. I bet they retook that one. I don't really think that one stayed.
Well, no, like the one that was there sounded fine, but I think it's because he wasn't trying.
Molotov! That's gas! Get to cover! Grenade!
You know what he needs? He actually pronounced it fine there too.
Yeah.
Così? Ok. Grenade!
That got worse.
Yeah.
That got worse.
Stop!
Because they corrected him.
Cause look, listen to him.
Molotov! That's gas! Get to cover! Grenade!
Even if it is grenade, he sounds more. it sounds like it came
sounds
out with
more
his accent.
Italian.
Molotov!
He sounds more human.
That's gas!
Yeah.
Get to cover! Grenade! Così? Ok. Grenade!
That's worse. That's just
Yeah,
objectively
they're-
worse.
Like, 'cause
Grenade!
I think they're also trying to
Grenade!
make him sound American.
Yeah.
Ed è fantastico, ragazzi. Ti ammazzo! È un po' troppo... Ti ammazzo!
See, yeah, like actual, so like his Italian quotes are just better because he's like Yamazzo, like he's giving it a punch. But otherwise,
Yeah.
like you are 6 feet. I'm going to put you 6 feet under. It's just.
Ammazzo! È un po' troppo così. Ti ammazzo! Mi hai fatto
That's
incazzare. Ok.
That's good.
va bene. C4! Find cover! Comunque sulle urlate sto da Dio io. Sono proprio contento sulle urlate.
And I actually took pleasure watching this whole thing because he's got like the same attitude the whole way through. It's like I've never ever watched like a vlog type thing like this.
This guy's a vibe.
Oh, I love this guy. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
so,
do too. This
on
guy's
my
great.
original script, I was actually a lot more critical. And I'm like, dude, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. Why is he in the game? Who contacted who? And then I watched this. I'm like, all right. I mean, like, Bernie, what are you doing, man?
Incredibile, abbiamo già fatto una facciata, ragazzi. Si vola. Colpo alla testa.
That sounds badass. That sounds genuinely cool. That's headshot. That sounds
Yeah.
so cool.
Facciata, ragazzi, si vola. Colpo alla testa. Colpo alla testa. Yes!
The second one was worse, I think.
Yeah.
It's because like the first one, I just imagine like shooting someone in the head, like like revenge or whatever, right? Because
Yeah.
now your characters have revenge lines. Imagine you shoot someone in the head, and then you're like stepping over their body, and you hear that sound effect, that noise.
Colpo alla testa.
It's like for,
Yeah.
like good
Colpo alla
riddance.
testa. Yes! Perfetto!
E quindi niente ragazzi, da domani sarà disponibile tutti i meme morire, cioè voglio vedere cosa succede quando muoio. Non so perché voglio farlo, ma è una cosa che mi piacerebbe tantissimo vedere.
That's what I'm saying. I love this guy. This guy's actually really nice.
Mi
Like,
aspetto.
I like look, he's got good comedy. Look at this.
Per catturare la faccia e il corpo e tutte queste cose, però adesso vogliamo anche la tua voce.
E quindi in piena quarantena dall'America.
Little sound effect.
Okay.
What's up?
Squeaky?
Doug.
Can't argue with that. But like, he's got like I don't dislike this guy. I actively like this guy. I would say it's more of his like, audio handlers that had the problem.
Yeah, I would agree.
Oh yeah, I never got to his background. A skilled tracker who loves the Old West. Oh, you play Red Dead, bro? And strongly adheres to his own rules regarding right and wrong. Wait, what? Dude, you're in the military. That's not something you get to choose. Be a PMC or a criminal if you want that. But if you adhere to your own rules, you better hope that your morality aligns with the Geneva Convention. Served with a legendary regiment before being selected to join Warcom. Funny enough, the only skin he has aside from his default one is Billy. Season 6. Yippee. Farah, Nikolai, and Marcus Griggs from the campaign are all added into multiplayer. Funny enough, they put Farah on the Allegiance side because Coalition was getting all of the campaign characters. That's kind of ironic considering one of Farah's quotes is about how she's friends with anyone who kills Russians.
Then you kill Russians, yes?
And I make no distinction between Al-Qaeda and the Russian army. They're both terrorists.
Now she's working side by side with them. Say, how do you think she feels about Iskra, who's half Uzbekistani and half Russian?
Mixed race couple? Cringe!
Our bio gives us a partial fingerprint, blood type, and a full portrait. The name section still isn't formatted right. She's the commander of her own forces. Commander would have looked awesome here. Season 6 is when backgrounds are formatted entirely different, written as a full sentence instead of a shortened resume-like statement of fact. Farah's reads, an exceptional soldier who has known a lifetime of war, Farah Ahmed Karim. Wait, whoa, you have her middle name? Why didn't you put it up there? Just put up there! There's a whole slot just for her full name. Why? Is the founder and commander of the Uzbekistani Liberation Force. Her combat capabilities and fieldcraft have been further honed by Tier 1 level training with the SAS. Honestly, this background is fine. I just think it's really strange that all Season 6 operators' bios are formatted like this, while near everyone else's is formatted in resume style. It's evident they had a different writer on this, or at least the old writer forgot that he was formatting it in a certain way. First language, Uzbekistani. Isn't that just Arabic? Yeah, look, Iskra speaks Arabic, and she's Uzbekistani. Okay. Is Iskra just raised on the bad side of town? Bad kids only get to learn Arabic. Nikolai is... Oh, great. His name is redacted. But his portrait, fingerprint, and blood type aren't? What is this? I don't understand! A Russian patriot whose love of country is matched only by his love of weaponry, Nikolai is a fixer who can acquire anything, anywhere. Despite his murky background, when it counts most, he'll always choose right over wrong. Hey, isn't this the same guy who kidnapped a woman and her child in the campaign?
Package is in the back.
What is it?
Truth serum.
Please,
Bargaining
let
chips.
us go. We know nothing.
For negotiation.
Alright, and finally, Griggs. A Marine's Marine who truly believes in the rule of law. Is that why you can set landmines while playing as him? Because that's illegal. Proximity claymores are illegal. Few NCOs in the Corps are more beloved than Marcus Griggs. Fair, capable, and charismatic, Griggs can motivate and inspire troops in ways other officers can only dream of. Sounds pretty gay. Sounds pretty gay. Like Farah and Nikolai's bios, the bio is okay. It just doesn't fit in with the rest. Aside from the ever-existent name issue and the differently formatted background, it's serviceable. After this, we're going into what I'm calling the post-season. These are the updates that came out after Season 6 had ended and Cold War had come out. There was never a Season 7, but content was released after Season 6 had ended. Hence, post-season. 2 more operators were released in the post-season, and both were for Coalition. The first one was Sparks, full name Shane Sparks. An Iron Will Demon Dog Master Sergeant, Sparks is a hunter at heart who served in both the military and as a PMC with Shadow Company, ultimately re-upping with the Demon Dogs to return to his beloved amphibious force. You know, I feel like calling the Marines amphibious is wrong, even if it's, like, technically right. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Simple character, never got a flashy introduction. Probably the least discussed or known of operator in all of Modern Warfare. And lastly, we have... Wait, is it... Soap?
Soap?
Oh God, Soap! What have they done to your face? The youngest candidate to ever pass SAS selection, Johnny's Soap McTavish, is known as a perpetual FNG, a label he wears as a badge of honor. A confident, instinctive CQB expert, Soap was handpicked by Price for Task Force 141. Soap was actually rumored to be in the game in the last moments of the Modern Warfare lifecycle, at the end of the last cutscene made for Warzone, not including the Cold War ones.
McTavish to actual.
So, what's your position?
Have a click off the coast. Things are really heating up out here.
Hold tight. We're moving your way. On me.
Look, I wanted Soap, but... I'm not a big fan of his bio. The original Modern Warfare literally sees Soap getting promoted to captain from the very beginning, so to call him a perpetual FNG is kind of an insult. I think it's a little funny that we don't have his fingerprint in the game. I swear, they decide on who gets what parts of their bio redacted at random. Very good. Jacob, alright, so you're gonna go around this place and do like laps. Laps around the place. So first you're gonna go up here, you're gonna go over there, go into that blue crate over there, go into that hut, come around these rocks, and come back over here, right?
Alright.
Now, I put claymores around the place, so I'm going to want you to shoot those. And here's the game, right? Let's go back over here. If you make it in less than a minute, you're going to become an operator in Modern Warfare, alright? If you make it in less than 50 seconds, you get to keep your blood type. If you make it in less than 40 seconds, your character gets a full portrait in their bio, alright? And if you make it in less than 30 seconds, you get to keep everything, your blood type, portrait, and fingerprint, alright? Now, if you die by any means, then you won't be added, okay?
Okay.
Alright. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Hey, now that we're already on the topic of shooting people, weapons are one of the most important parts of any shooter. Modern Warfare went above and beyond in this sector, adding Gunsmith, keeping neat camos, blueprints, etc. Animations were above and beyond too, being described as some of the most realistic weapons animations in all of gaming history. Who said this? Me. I said this. You want a source? Go back 5 seconds. The game came out with a good chunk of weapons to play with, and with each season bringing at least 2 more, there was always something more to unlock for the average player. Season 1 graced us with the Ram 7, a bullpup assault rifle, and the Holger 26, an LMG that honestly kinda sucked. Every weapon was modular to some extent due to the Gunsmith, a menu allowing you to customize your guns and giving you the ability to transform it into an entirely different type of firearm. Even then, every weapon had its place in every player's arsenal. Weapons added in the later seasons would come with slight quirks to diversify gameplay. The AN-94 assault rifle came with a hyperburst feature. The ASVAL came with a built-in suppressor. The Striker 45 fired slower than other SMGs but dealt a heavier blow. The Fennec was the opposite, firing relatively weak rounds at a blazing fast rate of fire. The JAK-12 shotgun had the option of getting special ammo types, such as frag. One of my favorites, the Finn LMG, had a gunsmith mod to turn its rate of fire extremely high, at the price of making it less easy to control and burning through ammo faster. It also came with the chainsaw option, which was unique to the game. A crossbow was added, and eventually a sniper rifle with optional explosive rounds. To say the game had a boring arsenal would be a lie. For the most part, new weapons were handled very well. Even in the postseason state, weapons were added. The game stopped receiving major updates in October of 2020, but that didn't stop them from adding 3 guns into the game. The Psychov, the CX-9, and the RAL MG were added in December of that same year, but only to survival mode. Multiplayer would be drip-fed these guns throughout 2021. This went entirely unannounced. The guns were added so quietly, there aren't any blueprints available for purchase. I just saw it now, but Sparks' Operator bundle came out with a blueprint for the Psychov. The new weapons weren't perfect though, often new weapons stirred up the meta. For a good while, the Grau 556 dominated the assault rifle class, being extremely modular and being outright more effective than other weapons in its class. This happened a few times with different weapons too, and the trend continued into Cold War, but that's kind of like a given with shooters. Another issue, and frankly a nitpick, was with the weapon descriptions. Some of the base guns had uninteresting or outright wrong descriptions, but this was more evident with new weapons. For example, the Kilo 141, a base gun, describes itself as ergonomic, despite it being rather low in mobility relative to other full auto assault rifles. The Uzi described itself as fully automatic and simple, steady, effective. Yeah, that's helpful. Newer weapons had seemed to have more liberties taken when writing their description. For example, the first SMG to be added to the game was the Striker 45. It's described as a hard-hitting submachine gun chambered in 45 auto that will shred at longer distances than other weapons in its class. Rarely ever do I see a weapon description that compares itself to the others in its same class, so I thought this was a little bit strange. The first shotgun to be added, the VLK Rogue, calls itself an agile 12-gauge MagVed shotgun, with extensive options to modify range, stability, and maneuverability. Yeah, a lot of the newer guns have a big problem with describing themselves as modular, as if damn near every gun in the game isn't. The Grau, CR56, Holger, SPR, Renetti, and Psychov all have this issue. Some weapons have kind of dumb descriptions. The ISO is written as precision crafted 9mm submachine gun with a fast rate of fire. Okay, fast rate of fire is helpful, but I didn't really need you to tell me that it's not a pipe gun. Hey, the CX-9 is also described as a fast fire rate weapon. Are you slower or faster than that? No? No answer? Coward. This lightweight and reliable firearm is designed to control the close-range battlefield. Isn't that like most submachine guns? With the only exceptions here being the Striker and the Fennec? Oh, here's a treat. The creators of the Chris Vector, known in-game as the Fennec, said that they would have been happy to negotiate a deal with Activision to license the Vector at a reasonable price. But Activision didn't even approach them. They often didn't even try to name the guns by their real-life counterparts. Now, here's another baffling one. The Scar in-game is called the FN Scar, but the FAL is just called the FAL, despite both being created by FN. Why put the FN on the Scar if you won't put it on the FAL? Some weapons tend to list stuff that come off as fan service more than anything. Like how the SKS description mentions that the rifle has seen a lot of battles and its unique gunsmith configurations reflect a diverse service history. I mean, yeah, you could have put that on the AK too, and the M4. The naming of some of the weapons often baffles me. The Psychov is literally just a Makarov. Who was stopping you from naming it the Makarov? The ammunition it uses is literally called 9mm Makarov, but you drew the line at naming the gun that? Maybe they're afraid of whoever made the Makarov coming to get them for copyright infringement. Oh, but then you've got the perfectly normal AK-47 and RPK, so I guess they crossed out Mikhail Kalashnikov as a threat? The same with the SKS. Are you scared? The Soviets are not Activision. Oh, wait. Inspect animations were added in the middle of the game's lifecycle. I remember finding out because the old ping button was I, and when I pressed the button to ping something in co-op, I started inspecting my gun. This was the second game I played where weapon inspects were a thing, so I thought it was pretty cool. The weapon inspect ended up being rather lackluster, involving your character just tilting the gun to the right, and then to the left, and that's it. I wasn't super happy about that, but I still thought inspects being there in the first place was neat, so I was content. That was until the last season, where somebody got the idea of making inspects actually interesting. Weapons added after Season 5 all had a better animation, where the character would take out the magazine of their gun, put it back in, then check the bolt. That's all well and good, until you realize now there are only 5 or so guns where this is possible, and the rest were just gun tilting. Again, there's a clash on how earlier work was done compared to work near the end of the game's life cycle. Thankfully, these issues were more visual than anything, so I couldn't complain too much. I mean, I still complained, but they probably bothered me more than anyone else. Either way, the weapons, even now, are fair. Well, maybe that's a little bit biased coming from me, a man who pretty much exclusively plays hardcore. Modern Warfare has always had a pretty serviceable menu. It was never above and beyond, but it worked. The worst thing to ever happen to it was having store bundles attached to the side of every gun selection, but even then it's really not that bad. Well, that was the worst thing to ever happen to the Modern Warfare menus on purpose. Most everything else I'm going to describe was, or at least I'll assume it was, accidental. This is what Modern Warfare's main menu used to look like. I thought it was pretty neat at first. It's a little overbearing, taking up the entire screen, and the dead zones for opening each menu weren't clear, but it wasn't all that bad. Here is what the main menu looks like now. Modern Warfare has become a footnote in its own main menu. Over here, there's a game I don't own and don't intend on buying. Over here, there's a game mode that I play once every 2 months or so. mainly because I'm unable to uninstall it.
Is there a way I can just get rid of fucking Warzone but keep?
Dude, you're not the first one to ask that question. Over here, there's a second game I don't own and don't intend on buying, and over here is the main course. Well, the main course is split into thirds. Considering how many list items are on this screen, each third of the Modern Warfare menu is 1/9 of the options shown on screen. Say, did you notice that these main menus used to be animated? Not anymore. It's just a pan outwards of a still image. Unwarranted change sure is great. Thankfully, the campaign menu appears to be untouched. It's the other two that are problematic. Alright, here's the multiplayer menu. That's weird. I wonder why it's on a beach. There aren't any beach maps on this game. Maybe they're teasing for something else. Welcome to the Pacific? That's weird. Maybe there's an update adding a Pacific map? Oh wait, what's that? A Battle Pass tab? What's that for? Oh sweet, look at all this stuff they're adding to Modern Warfare! Wait. Arthur? Isn't that a Vanguard character? Wait a minute, everything here is Vanguard. It's an entire tab dedicated to stuff that's not even in this game? That's right, everything you see in this Battle Pass has nothing to do with your Modern Warfare experience. It's all Warzone stuff. Why the hell is it in the Modern Warfare menu? When Call of Duty Cold War was the current game, this tab was always dedicated to Cold War's Battle Pass. 99% of the stuff shown in the Battle Pass was entirely irrelevant to anyone playing Modern Warfare. At least back during Cold War there were splits, so when you unlocked a skin for a vehicle in Cold War, you'd also get it for Modern Warfare. But now, it's 100% irrelevant! Okay, let's just ignore that. Let's go to the weapons menu. Everything's nice here. Oh wait, what's that? Call of Duty League? Oh sweet, it's the result of a bunch of matches that happened on a game that I don't care about that happened over 3 months ago. Great! Okay, let's just ignore that then. You know, do I still have that RPK blueprint for my AK? Let me check. Here's the AKs. Wait, what's that? Oh sweet, there's spotlights now? Dude, that'll be so cool for night maps. Diamondback Reflex? GRU Elastic Wrap? Oh sweet, dude, let me check out the stats inside of the gunsmith. Doesn't... Where's... What? Why are there Cold War guns in my Modern Warfare armory? Alright, just... whatever, let me just... Why are there Vanguard guns in my Modern Warfare armory? I've got this stupid battle pass that offers damn near nothing, and the worst part is that after every match it tells me how much I've ranked up on the battle pass that I don't care about. That stupid green marker is there every time I check on it. I swear this game would be like a third smaller if I could uninstall the entirety of Cold War in Vanguard's files. But no! Warzone is the one part I can't remove in the launcher. Funny enough, I don't see it all the time, but it's not terribly rare to see someone using a Cold War skin in Modern Warfare. Yeah, there's a bug that you can exploit to use Cold War characters in Modern Warfare matches. That sure is dandy, isn't it? Yo, check this comedy gold out. You see the operator menus? You see the bio? See how all these little portraits are locked? They're not supposed to be locked. Yeah, the dev's broken. The ones I own should be unlocked, and the ones I don't own should be locked. And you see that little video box on the right? That's not supposed to be blank. That's supposed to be playing these clips that I've been playing throughout the entire video. But somehow, they broke it. Yeah, now it just loads this masterpiece. You know those awesome finishing moves? Those executions that you just love to have equipped? Well, in the past, you were able to preview them from your operator customization menu. Oh, but now? Just that. This lovely image. They removed the preview. Why? Who knows? But they removed it. So at this point, what choice do I have but to ask myself why? Why would you remove this? Do you not like the customer? Why did you remove this? When you're shopping in the store, you have to rely on the video and pray that the finishing move you want to buy is as cool as it looks. Look at that. Look at that. That's all the reference you get on whether you'd like to buy this or not. How can you sell me something and only give me an artist's rendition of what a single frame of it looks like? Oh, you play Red Dead, bro? Alright, whatever, let's just leave the store tab. Barracks, this is always great. Whoa, wait, the entire progression tab is all Cold War and soon Vanguard? I do not play those! Let me see my Modern Warfare stats! Calling cards are filled with a bunch of banners that aren't from Modern Warfare, which honestly isn't too awful, except for the fact that all the Vanguard calling cards are at the very top of the list, and there's nothing you can do about it. You'd think, oh, just sort it out. Look, there's a sort filter up there. And that would be a great idea if the thing had a goddamn filter to sort away the Vanguard content. But it's not there! There's no option to get rid of the Vanguard content! It's the same with emblems. For gestures, you can equip whatever emotes you get from Cold War and Vanguard. You see this Halloween emote they added for Cold War, what, 2-3 months ago? Yeah, it's already broken. As soon as this Vanguard update came out, they broke it. It hasn't been out for a season and it's already broken. Another thing I noticed was how the UI colors and highlights are entirely bugged. You see this main play screen? Notice how some of the text is white for no reason? Well, when you run your mouse over it, it becomes the standard blue again. It's also worth noting that the original blue is really difficult to read against the backdrop of the sky. Maybe they put the white for more readability. But if that's the case, why does it revert to blue when you run your mouse over it? What's the point of these decisions, Activision? Also, the little view tokens button down here stops glowing when you run your mouse over it. Same applies to these buttons down here in multiple menus. Oh, here's a fun one. In the Gunsmith, the compensator's name has been changed to the G28 compensator. It's kind of a neat detail until you realize that everything else is still referred to by a generic name. Also, it's not just this model of compensator that's referred to as the G28. Every single compensator that isn't weapon specific has had its name changed to the G28 compensator. My guess is that some brain-lit at Activision just searched the word compensator in Warzone's files and replaced it with G28 compensator, because there's probably a compensator in Vanguard that uses that name. But since Warzone and Modern Warfare are tied, every single compensator in the game is now the G28. And it's not just that! Modern Warfare had a distinct theme that was blue and very crisp and digital. Now a lot of this stuff is just yellow like it's Warzone. A lot of the theme of the buttons are grizzled and the menus look different because now they've got the Vanguard yellow theme instead of the traditional Modern Warfare blue. What does the original Infinity Ward team think about this, man? Because I need to know how they feel about this.
Have you gotten the menu glitch of every time you try and join someone else from a different game? Oh, it basically breaks your game to a point of where your computer can blue screen. It's happened to me twice already. It'll like spam your menu so hard that your CPU timing will go to 100% and have a latency of 500 seconds. An average latency is 30 seconds. Yeah, and they just fixed it yesterday. It's been going on for 2 weeks.
What's the most stupid thing about it is that they removed survival mode from PC since the new update.
What? Oh my god! I didn't notice that!
Yeah, and now, and the one mission in co-op that I wanted to get was Darwin's Code for the Beachcomber. And you can't do that anymore because all of them require...
God, you're right!
Because all of them require survival mode.
You're right, dude! Oh my god!
Oh, and also another thing they killed is... Oh, yeah, Pro Field Upgrade, they killed it.
It doesn't work at all, or you just... or what?
I'm Prestige, and it still says Field Upgrade Pro, unlock at level 45.
Oh my Christ alive, man. I'm telling you, and I mean it, I didn't use that the entire time I've had this game. And it wasn't until like 2 weeks ago, or not 2 weeks ago, like 2 weeks before Caldera came out that I started using it.
In conclusion, my friends, it is evident that nobody cares about the fun that you're having with the finished product. What matters is the money that can be made off of your fun. And if money can't be made, order, consistency, and fun be damned. At least they haven't taken the one thing that matters away from me. This beautiful bastard. God damn it, Minotaur. Why'd you have to...